It was like 15. Welcome back to Stay Tuned. I'm Tony Angelo, and today we're going to make dirt cheap horsepower. This is an idea that is near and dear to my heart because anyone can make big power with a fat wallet, but it takes like real hot rod ingenuity to do it on the cheap and make it work. But back in the day, the deal would be go to your local junkyard, get the cheapest giant V8 you can, work it over, make some horsepower with it, and then just put it in the lightest car you can find. Cadillac 500 cubic inch V8 with a cam and headers into a Chevette, and you're off and running, 1160s probably. In recent years, tons of people have done the LS cheap turbo route. So what you do is you get yourself a cheap junkyard LS, swap it into an old light chassis, add some boost, and off you go. But the deal is that's actually quite a bit of work. Number one, you've got to find yourself a cleanish rear-wheel drive car for cheap, right? That's not that easy these days with the market. Number two, you get your hands on a junkyard LS that is not blown up. Then you've got to get all the swap parts together. You've got to put everything into the car, get that turbo on there, get that thing tuned up, and finally you can hit the strip. Now listen, this works, but I've seen it done a billion times. I want to try something different, maybe something better, and here's how we're going to do it. First, I went out and bought the cheapest big turbo that money can buy. This is a Max Speeding Rods 3582, and it was $128 shipped to my house. All right, it is a regular journal bearing turbo. It spins. For that price, I don't expect much more. It's supposed to make up to 600 horsepower, and it costs about as much as a tank of gas for my F-250. This thing is wild. I cannot believe the price, but what we need to do now is put it on a car and see what it can do, and I've got the perfect one. This one actually runs and drives, so see you out there. So we needed a car, something cheap, rear-wheel drive, already has a V8 in it, and this is what we wound up with. It's a 1998 Lincoln Mark VIII, comes with a 4.6 liter all aluminum dual overhead cam, essentially a Cobra motor, making 290 horsepower, 290 foot-pounds of torque. It's got a 4-speed overdrive trans. It's got an independent rear suspension setup with a Ford 8.8 center section. It's pretty beefy. And even with the market the way it is, I was able to pick this car up. There she goes. There, ooh, we're spinning. She's spinning them. Look, the used car market is a train wreck still. And even with that, I was able to buy this car running with 118,000 miles on it for $1,150. Well, you were. Yeah, you did. Yeah, I think the guy wanted $1,500. Oh, Michael B over here.
Negotiation here and there.
Yeah, hit him with the bad cop routine, and got him down to $1,150. And it's a very solid car. I almost feel bad cutting it up, but you reminded me.
But not that much.
Not that much.
It's nice, but not that
It's not that nice.
Yeah.
And it was gross when we got it. You cleaned it more than I would have ever cleaned it.
You wouldn't have sat there.
That's
it was disgusting.
It's probably pretty gross. And you hear it? Listen.
Oh,
yeah, it's a big, heavy car, but it's a ripper. All right, hopping under this car, just giving it a once over a little bit more. It's very solid. There's no like crazy rust on the chassis, which in the Northeast can certainly be a problem or a concern. I see some definitely shot front bushings. We're gonna need some lower control arms, tie rods and stuff at some point, no big deal. But what we're really looking at is where are we gonna stick this turbo, right? So if you don't know how turbochargers work, hold on one second. Here we go. All right. So you run your exhaust from your car into the turbine inlet. It goes through here, spins this wheel super hard, central shaft located all the way through this thing is going to spin your compressor housing. It's going to suck in all sorts of fresh air, leaves, little children running by, and cram all that stuff into your engine. You run this right to your throttle body, and this creates turbo boost, horsepower, and awesome. That's how it goes. But at some point, we have to connect this to both sides of this exhaust and figure out how to kind of like bring them, it's a V, so we're going to figure out where they're going to go and how it's going to work. I'd like to put the turbo up where the airbox is. I think that makes the most sense. But that means bringing this passenger side or driver's side exhaust over end up.
Slim.
The real Slim Zimmy. This is Zach. He does a little bit of everything around the shop. He's a Sagittarius. He likes long walks down the pit lane. And his Camaro ran a 1066 last weekend.
Yes, sir. You're good. I am a Sagittarius.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, weird. Super weird.
Make
I love that they use Velcro in their cars.
luxury.
That's how you do it. Beauty. That's where the exhaust will go out. That's fine. We took the, we're starting to take the AC stuff out of the way, so our best guess is that we kind of sit like right here. Exhaust inlet is here, exhaust outlet is here. That'll probably find its way through the fender. And we will spin this compressor housing up so that this charge pipe can at least go right in here. And then if we want to intercool it, we could come like down with it in and back out this way and on the top there. That's the plan.
Solid.
Let's get the rest of that exhaust or AC out of the way.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Tight now.
Oh, yeah.
This motor goes before the turbo goes.
Let's make some bets.
I'd like them to go at the same time.
Yeah, together would be nice. like an old married couple. Once one goes, one's not far behind.
That's right.
Rip the Band-Aid off.
Weight reducted.
Sick, dude. So I didn't even know we bought a race car yet.
Fiberglass, dude. It's not aluminum.
Wow, even better. Oh yeah, look at that wiggle.
Yeah, you can
Dang. I just meant it's not metal.
Yeah.
Incredible. Ford was like, let's pack 6,500 pounds worth of stuff, but fiberglass hood will make it okay. Let's run the EGR on the car 3 times. But the idea now is we're just gonna get as much AC junk out of the way. Probably leave the compressor in because it's not exactly in our way, but mostly just the lines are. Get as much of that stuff out. And then we think we can fit a 2.5-inch up pipe to hold the turbo and feed the turbo. Right about here, it'll go right next to this manifold, which is good because I don't like using these tiny manifolds to run all the exhaust through on one side. And then see about merging both the exhausts together underneath, probably right underneath the torque converter, right behind the torque converter, and then bring one pipe from a merge up, put the turbo here and start rocking. I'm just getting rid of a bunch of junk here. All right, we can grind a bunch of that away and sneak a 2.25 past it. That'll get us there. Okay. 2.5 just about fits, you can see. So a little bit of work here and we'll get it through. Time to remove some stuff we don't need anymore.
That is thick.
I told you, it's strong.
Oh my God.
El Diablo's not playing either. It's dual wall.
That's like.
We're gonna have to cut it back.
Gauge. Look at that.
It's dual wall.
Oh, wow.
We're gonna have to cut it back to find where it's not dual wall, I guess. This is dual wall piping. It's got 3 cats, this is one of them. And it's usually just because of how hot this thing would be getting. So we're gonna figure it out. We don't really want to be running a bunch of tiny dual wall stuff. We're gonna cut it back as far as we have to. Now go up. Yep. Nice.
I can hear the ocean.
Shut up.
You're supposed to do that to the turbo.
Yeah.
All right, stop. Just, all right. Oh, yeah. She's free.
Face again.
All right, put this caliper back.
All right, so Zach welded up these beautiful adapters to the factory exhaust with these flanges. that we're gonna reuse, these ball and socket flanges. And Tony ground these down flat, welded some bolts to here, basically new. So we got some new hardware, right?
Yeah.
Put them on here. Hopefully that goes the direction we wanna go, sorta.
So everything is now 2.5 inches. This was like a little under 2 1/4. This is about 2 1/4. We're gonna run them together and then take a single pipe up to feed the turbo. So first thing is just loop the exhaust together. That's what we're gonna rock on now. I'm just gonna cut this in the middle of the radius.
Right in the middle, I already marked it.
Beautiful. I'll put a pipe in the middle. All right, 16 to the center of the pipes. It's a 3-inch radius. Look how I do it, man. I just look at it, I hold it up, I look at it, and I just try to cut right on the radius, which means like it should look like this and not trying to cut across the radius. I mean, that's square as hell, so I got the angle right. The only thing is, I'm trying to decide if I want to come this way or this way. I may cut the leg off, come out a little bit, kick over and down. Oh yeah, that'll get there.
Teamwork, dude, teamwork.
Right.
Dang.
I welded. It held it.
I like it one day into this project so far, and all we've done is connected the 2 exhausts together.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So we have a non-running car.
We played a practical joke on this car so far.
Yeah. Watch this.
So the idea here is, number one, if you take the exhaust off your car and it still runs, you owe it to yourself to fire it up, open header or whatever this is.
Yeah, it's a roll.
And number two, we're gonna try to see if we can get any junk out of this awesome U-pipe that we made by blasting a bunch of exhaust through it. And there's no, the coolant's leaking out pretty furiously, so we're not gonna let it run that long, but let's see what it sounds like. We'll find out. Yeah, go. Perfect. Rev it up! That's good. Perfect. Shut it down. Spit out a lot of coolant. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
That sounds like when you cut the exhaust off a Grom.
Yo, it sounds like a boat. Blah, 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 blah.
It's got that 4-valve door.
She's a race car. All right, well, it did pump a bunch of trash out. It was gross, so that's good. Kind of got in my
It
face.
did not want to do revs.
Yeah, I think there is there must be a mass air. There's a meter in that thing.
I gave it like a little tiny bit. And it just,
It went blah.
Yeah, there's also like.
It's perfect though. I mean, like, yo, that's way up there.
it is.
It's great. We don't care.
It falls in these holes and it's up.
It's all it's got to do is what it's doing. Yeah. It's got to come off here now and get up there. Here.
That's the fun part.
Grab a 14 or a 9/16 for your side.
9/16.
So what we need to do now, we've got both of the sides of the motor feeding into this U-tube, and what we're going to do is pick up a turbo up pipe from here, sneak it through this very tight space, but enough space between the starter, this flange, and the subframe. So what we need to do is get a 2.5-inch pipe properly coped to fit here, then we'll hole saw into it, make sure it all fits nice. Put a V-band on it so it's removable, start working our way up into the engine bay to hang the turbo.
That's the plan, Stan.
Mm-hmm. Let's go with that. Yeah, look at that. That's a real tech. Just kidding.
You'll be all right. Probably right.
You guys ever turbo an LS car? It's the easiest thing in the whole world. It's crazy. So much room. So we're finally working on the turbo up pipe. This is what's gonna feed the turbocharger, all that exhaust gas, which is gonna make boost on the other side of the turbo. And this has been a long time coming. There's just no room for anything, but with a lot of tight packaging and some moderately dumb ideas, we're very close. Two more pipes, we'll be good. How's it look in there?
I don't know.
I can't believe it fits. Like it just went zip.
Remember that time we were gonna cut the mat?
It's a miracle that it fits in there. That's awesome.
Why do they make a size 9 wrench if they don't got any size 9 bolts? No comment?
Yeah, right there. Boom. That's the old turbo. That's the old turbo Lincoln right there, baby.
Clean all the metal like that. Cut some splits in there so we can put the band clamp around it and cinch it down nice and tight. Hopefully I don't leak any spurs out of there.
Yeah.
Wrap it in foil tape.
Ramrod action.
See, nice and clean.
Dirty. Dirty. Come on. Everybody goes up together. There it is.
Happy family.
All right, you get on the other side. You see it?
I mean, kinda.
Like trying to feed a baby.
Look at that thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we'll take it.
That's money, dude.
That's it.
Hell yeah, let's go.
So after making an entire exhaust connection up pipe scenario through zero room, it's time to bolt this turbo on for good. We had to use a slip fit on our up pipe, but it actually tightened up really nicely. We'll brace the turbo and it should be fine. Mr. Spreading Rods is going in for good. Let's do it. Well, at least, you can put it in. It's finally in there. The turbo's being fed by the exhaust. We'll figure out charge pipes, oil lines, put a wastegate on it, and be much closer to firing this thing up tomorrow. Looks great. That thing looks like 128 bucks. All right, it is another day here in the Stay Tuned shop. Zach came in, made a nice little brace for this turbo up pipe. Now this thing is very, very solid, so I feel good about that. Michael is going to dig the old fuel pump out of this thing and add a much bigger fuel pump, because when you're making a bunch more power, you need a bunch more fuel. And I'm gonna start working on the charge pipe. As of right now, we're only gonna run, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 pounds of boost. We're not gonna bother with an intercooler. I'm just gonna connect this turbo to this throttle body. As you can see, it's like a 12-inch piece. Get that done and we will keep on rocking. So the way this turbo is gonna work, again, I told you, the exhaust is gonna feed in here. Now that we've got it mounted, actually, it's gonna do it. It's gonna come in here, spin this wheel. The excess exhaust is gonna come out here and either go up or out, whatever, that doesn't matter. But that wheel spinning is going to suck air in the compressor housing and blast it out here into the throttle body, making a boost, making power, and being generally awesome.
Maybe some flame.
Yeah, flames, noises, all sorts of good stuff's gonna happen. All right, I cut that a little bit off the radius just to get it tight. On 3 has this killer throttle body coupler, which would be a nightmare. If not, you see Ford runs this unique oval throttle body with 2 round butterflies in it, because I think how tall this motor is. It's a way to get a nice big one in there, but it's certainly weird. But with this coupler from On 3, we're good to go. And then I'll just do a little short extension on this guy. Try to throw a bead on it, cut half an inch off there, and we'll be ready to rock. That'll do it. Not a lot of piping. Boost response should be pretty good. All right, I have this cool little Vibrant Performance bead roller. This thing is awesome. When I started working on turbo cars as a kid a million years ago, it would have killed for something like this. We wound up using like pliers and beating stuff over mandrels, or using bead rollers that like weren't really for this kind of stuff. So anytime you're running boost through pipes, you really want to get a nice bead on there. When you're using really thin aluminum, it's easy to distort these things, but this turned out nice. You got to learn how to use that tool. You kind of keep it centered, and then you'll get a nice bead like that. And so when there's a coupler going over it with a nice clamp, it'll hold a ton of boost as opposed to it's blowing off. That'll do though. Actually turned out pretty good. One thing you want to do on your turbo setup is run a blow-off valve. Essentially, this is what's happening. You're floored, you're having a good time, you're going down the road, you're making all sorts of boost. This thing is spinning at like 80,000 RPMs. You slam the throttle body closed, and there's so much pressure in here that's now causing crazy pressure waves. It can try to stop this wheel. It can blow this wheel and break the shaft. It's bad for your turbo. So that psh you hear from the kids in Subarus driving down your neighborhood is actually keeping their turbos alive, because what it does is it sees vacuum on the other side of the throttle body. It opens up this valve and it lets all that excess pressure out. We are rocking an On3 50mm blow-off valve. This is a sweet piece. It's definitely affordable still, and it comes with both a stainless and an aluminum flange to go right onto your charge pipe.
Michael B made us burgers.
Let's go. All right, so we're gonna essentially do a little secondary daughter board on our factory computer so that we can tune it. That means we have to keep a factory mass airflow sensor. And the deal with that is these meter air, and when you have a blow-off valve that lets all the air out of your charge pipe that's already been metered, it's gonna make the engine stall. Just to help it a little bit, I'm going to put the blow-off valve before the mass airflow sensor. That way, theoretically, air that won't go through the MAF and back out, it'll just, it should alleviate stalling and make it run a little bit better. If it was the other way, then all this air is gonna get read by the mass airflow and say, oh, this is going in your engine, and then the blow-off valve opens up and says, no, it's not. It's going right out to the atmosphere, and then you've got way too much fuel on the tune, and it's gonna stumble and run wonky. So we're gonna do our best to help it by putting these here and here. All right, here we go.
All right, we got the big guns out here, another handle to hold on to, a knee to lean against, and hopefully we'll make this hole happen without, you know, chopping my arm off. So that's not the fuel hat. The internet gave me misinformation here.
Are you back to the drawing board, dude?
Yeah.
You on the
This
forums?
is what happens. This is what happens when you listen to one guy. Turns out that guy was wrong, like very wrong.
What forum you on, dude?
Lincolns of Distinction. Lincolnsofdistinction.org. It's 4 bolts. I mean, it's not a huge deal to take it out.
Take it out. It goes under everything, right?
Yeah, it's under everything.
Yeah, take it out. Let's take the fuel pump out, tank out. Let's go. Let's go.
Uh-oh. Stuck on something here.
I got it. Lift up. It's fine. You're good. You're good. You're good.
All right, you're gonna have the... Okay.
Oh, whoa, flat. Lay it down flat.
We're good.
Yeah.
Did you get it?
You're good. Yeah.
You got it? Oh. So we just pulled out this stock fuel pump out of the bucket here that came out of the tank on this Mark VIII. And for where we're going with the amount of power we want to make, this is just not going to cut it. Just not going to support enough fuel flow, especially with the bigger injectors we're going to put in. We had this AEM 340 liter per hour pump sitting on the shelf in the parts room. They say it's going to support about 800 horsepower or so. We're going to probably be doing half of that, so I think we'll be fine slapping this in there. So we're going to I took the sock off of the old pump, and we're going to slide it through this little rubber holder on the bottom and pop it in like that. And this will slide back in the factory location. It's the same length as the other pump, same connector, same fitting size, same everything. This is a direct drop in. This should get us where we need to be.
Wow, man. Yeah, that's hot.
So on a turbo, Everything rotates independently, the turbine housing, the compressor housing, and what's called the center section. The center section is where the oil flows through. So the feed and the drain need to be oriented properly. That means within 15 degrees of exactly up and down. You can cheat it a little bit, which helps with the drain, usually the fitment of it. But I'm just doing everything right now to get it perfect, which is what they call clocking the turbo. And so I turned the center section so that it's pretty much vertical. And I'm gonna start just snugging everything up so we make sure we're dialed in. We are here at PSR Performance to throw this thing on the dyno. This is our local dyno shop. And we've done a couple things to the car since last time you saw it. We just spent one long day finishing up this and that. It's got oil lines on here feeding and draining the oil out of the turbo. Zach came in, made this sweet lobster tail style exhaust. Comes right out the fender, that's my favorite part. We threw in 60-pound injectors from On3, wired up the mass airflow, and put in heat range 6 plugs. And this thing is just about ready to rock. Threw this up my Instagram, Tangelo96, and a bunch of people got stoked on it and told us like what their experience was boosting these 4-valve NA motors. And they say over 450-ish wheel horsepower, they will start to scatter. But guess what? 450 horsepower at the wheels is a ton. It's more than we've made with my Firebird or our Cutlass or pretty much anything we've had in the last year. So I'm excited. This thing is gonna scream. It's been, done on the dirt cheap, and I love this thing already. It's awesome. And it runs great already for some reason. Call Brad over like this. Hear that? Yeah. All right, so I pulled the ECM, the engine control module, out of our Mark VIII. There are some guys that have a website. It's the Lincoln Mark VIII tuning registry. It's mark8.site. We hit them up. They've got a bunch of guys running turbos, and they have a way to tune this computer by adding a little daughter board onto this thing, and then you can hook up your laptop, and you can get in here and tune it with different calibrations. They actually sent us over. They were awesome. They sent us over a base calibration that Brad's going to use to throw on here, and it's going to be already, we hope, pretty close to what we have to run the turbo car happily. So right now, all I have to do is this little connector here is covered in this goo from the factory. They take the whole board and they cover it in this protective plastic. And I'm gonna come through, it's like epoxy, and just clean off all these little metal connectors. And then we have a little daughter board that's gonna slide right on there. And we can hook a USB up to it, and it's just that easy.
Just that easy.
And we're just keeping it on the cheap. There's a million other ways to tune this thing. Obviously, we could put a Holly on here. I think Holly's got a kit that clips right in, but 75 bucks for the daughter board, and we're gonna see what we can do. All right, so these are the two pieces of hardware from Motes. They're like 75 bucks each. This is a little chip. It's like a daughter board that's gonna go and slide in here and change the tune of the computer. You write the information on here, but here's how you write it. You slide this little guy. You're gonna have to take it out of the computer, turn the car off, pull this little daughter board off, plug in this subboard, connect your computer to it, load or change your calibrations, pull it out, slide it back in here, fire it up, and off you go. It's not what I would call on-the-fly tuning, exactly. No. It's certainly different than that. But
well, this is the same way it was with the daughter boards on the SRs back in the day, but the part that sucked is you had to pull the chips out.
The chips got to come out,
put
yeah.
them in the burner.
Yep. Physically move the EEPROM, yeah.
And that's why a lot of guys started trying to do the real-time tuning stuff, where there was an actual board that went on there, and you could plug into it. The beach is up there. I'm not going to try and pronounce it.
I'm going to blow on it like I did with
hell yeah.
the original Mario Kart, and I think we're in business. Just see that gap, and I'm going to go with this gap, right? That's how it's going to go. Horsepower engaged. Hell yeah. I'm afraid it's just gonna flash up. So we're a little afraid the exhaust housing on this turbo is too small and it's gonna just spike boost and we'll see what happens. If that happens, I don't know, the rods go out the bottom of the engine. All right, so real quick, as an update, we have tallied up everything we've spent so far, including the car, the repairs, the radiator, all of the fabrication parts, coolant, oil, spark plugs, injectors, the MAF, everything, the turbocharger, and the total cost for this entire car, tuning parts, everything, is $3,945, which is pretty awesome. More fuel. Needs more fuel now. Hell yeah.
280.
280. We're just getting started.
It came on so fast. I was like, I don't want to like have it creep real fast.
I'm afraid of it's gonna go right to 25.
Yeah.
Barb got us pizza. Wow, my goodie.
That's the.
Oh, yar.
That's pizza.
All right, tell them how it's tradition here at the dyno. We only eat pizza.
Yeah, we only eat pizza here at the dyno. Most times it's terrible. This is a good one.
This is the good stuff.
Ooh, look at that. What's up with that torque?
I'm trying to pay attention to this for a second. Richard!
Richard! So our cheap turbo Lincoln project is here on the dyno, ripping with this $128 max speed turbo. We hit about 300 wheel horsepower. I'm gonna call that about 400 at the motor. That's pretty good. This entire package, including the car, the clamps, the fluids, literally everything, we're here for about 3,900 bucks. But here's the deal, 300 wheel horsepower is just not gonna do it today. And for a couple bucks more, we've got a turbo we like quite a bit better. Guys from On3 sent us out this straight T4. It's a 70mm compressor. This thing is $317, and I think it's gonna work quite a bit better. We're gonna throw this on right now and try to make serious horsepower. And even with this turbo, the entire package, with the car, with everything you see here, tuning parts, all the fab stuff, $4,134. Let's go. New turbo is on, full T4 from On3, still on the very affordable side, 317 bucks, but we think it's gonna make a whole bunch more horsepower. It's gonna not be as restrictive in the exhaust, it's gonna really let this thing flow. I think that was killing our power before.
Let's take more power. I leaned it the out.
Gotta boost it like, the boost is at like 6. 370 wheel, baby. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That thing spins fine. Don't look at it. 15 pounds, baby.
And downshifting.
Yeah, she's awake now. As of right now, we're only gonna run, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 pounds of boost.
That was a lie.
It was like 15, and then, yeah, she was eating right there.
We're just gonna go for it.
You what?
We're just gonna go for it.
He's just gonna go for it, he says. He's like, "Brr." That's what I'm talking about. Woo! That's what I'm talking about. What's up?
Let's go!
Yes! Finally, some horsepower. All right, so our cheap turbo Lincoln just made 394 wheel horsepower. I'm rounding that up to 400, and guess what? 400 wheel horsepower in this car has a chance of putting this thing into the 11s in the quarter mile. That's the most we've made on this dyno in any of the projects you've seen on the Stay Tuned channel. This is the cheapest thing we've had. It's super awesome. We have $4,134 into this thing, and it's making just about 400 wheel horsepower. That's killer. In the next episode, we're gonna take this thing to the track and see how fast we can go with it. I'm crazy stoked. Brad's gonna keep it here for a day, play with the fuel, tune just a little bit more, try to get it dialed in, making probably about the same power, just around 400 with a little bit less boost, and just get it really perfect. But then we're gonna grab this thing, and in the next episode you see, we're gonna take it to the track and see what we can do with our $4,000 monster.